sorry to be mutely excited there. It looks like multiplayer is working for Xbox. When I last played, it was not, but hooray. It has been fixed. So quickly, too. Just like snapping your fingers. So presumably that means we will now be seeing, messages? Though I see no examples of said messages here. I'm sure they'll appear soon. And it also means we have the potential to be invaded. Hi, by the way, didn't mean to jump right into that. Welcome back to Elden Ring. I have had the most intensely difficult time staying away so that I may get my beauty rest. Ineffective, as you can see. But, we're finally back now, and I couldn't be happier. So, we just made this new, site of grace. We didn't make it. We claimed it, I guess is the word. And we also got the steel of this area over here. I'm presuming this is the Mistwood, this wood here. And so the third church of Marika that we are looking for is very likely that ruin at the, just the tip. Just at the very, how do I say it? The end of the bend. There. That's dignified. So I'd like to go up there and try to get whatever that note was warning us about. The wondrous flask of physic. Or the flask of wondrous physic. I'm not sure. We also still have our boss in the catacombs we need to deal with at some point. We can still get beefier before we do that. We also met this gentleman, Kenneth. Oh, Kenneth. On this archway ruin here, and I believe his fort. Oh, no more spoilers. So nice to see you. I know you're playing through this as well, just when I'm about to unveil all the map details. I do apologize, but it's nice to see you. Hope you enjoy your murderous rage, I guess is the way to say it. So, Kenneth, I believe, is the owner of this fort here, which has since been taken over by someone else. I won't use derogatory terms this early in the morning. Bad guys. That's about as harsh as I'm going to get till I've had more caffeine. So, we have a couple of options out here in the east that we need to chase down. I've also only ever been up on this plateau beyond the trolls once to get to Storm Hill. So we have this whole road and bridge and whatever that is to explore up north as well. We've sort of taken our time through Central Limgrave, but now let's take our time through the rest of it. I know that there's an actual story mission, some sort of quest at the end of these lighted paths, but we'll ignore that for now. Who needs it? So the one thing I do want to do, just to potentially get myself back in the, back in the jellies of combat, as they say, let's jump back to the Waypoint Ruins where there is that massive cotillion happening, and see what we can do. Also, at this point in the game, I've been huddling my starting armor, as it is so desperately important not to die early on, but I'm gonna drop the helmet at this point until we find a better helmet, because that takes us back to our awesome warrior. Only using her reflexes. And then, do we have anything that might be a little less... Oh, heavy is the word. Aristocrat coat. 7.1, it's in the high 8s in terms of damage negation. I mean, that's not terrible. What does it look like? Hard to pass up. Alright, that's going to be it for now. So we'll see if I start instantly dying and we can put on our real armor again. Won't that be nice? However, I'll take all the speed I can get at this point, especially when taking on a large group of mostly weak guys. Let's see if we missed... Oh, there's a message. Yay! So those are multiplayer enabled actual player messages that you can leave. And sometimes they're helpful, and sometimes they're just silly little memes that have no import. I'm sorry I said that about the memes. Someone's probably gonna be upset. So I just want to, without getting too many of the big bads involved, let's take out the horn guys. Not my back, I beg of you. And then it's all just these little confused gentlemen. It'll be fine. Sir. Get back here, you. Alright, let's use the environment to our advantage. Well, he also took a cue from that. Hoping he won't have as much running room up here. Oh, his horse can kick. Fancy. Staggered. In the prime of life. Oh, such a nice hit. Bravo, sir. I was hoping to save all these potions for the weighty trolls at the end of the battle. Such... Oh, poison flowers in the fray. I wonder what that sound was. What a disappointment. Do come back so that I may finish you off, sir. Okay, he's off. Now it's just these guys and the poison flower. Stop it. Go ahead and waste another flask in the hope that a group like this might earn me another one. Slow. Why are you so... You're just letting yourselves... Oh, sad. But also wildly convenient, thank you. Alright, Coach is now way down the road. We have some catching up to do. These guys would be lovely to take out. Okay, just give him a little poke, that's fair. Alright, so they should have one more heavily armored knight. I know there is one more heavily armored knight at the bridge as well, which is going to come into play. There he is. No one can alarm anymore, though. Thanks to our precision strikes, and... Just gotta get him before the guy at the bridge sees. Okay. So there is another mounted guy, the daytime mounted guy, coming down that way. I'll want to avoid him. Was hoping to catch the trolls a little earlier. But I didn't. A nice dodge. There. Now where is mounted guy? Oh, he's stuck on the coach. So what I don't know, what I'm curious to test, if we have a... Wow. Hitbox. So saucy. Stop flirting with me. What I'm hoping to see is if we need to dispatch the trolls entirely, or is it enough to just belay them? Belay those orders? For a moment. And can I access the chest? It seems like it's just a matter of the carriage moving. Yes, no. I need to find some sort of ranged option for when I find myself in this situation. It's never quite the right thing to just stand here and take it. I either need to bait him into the environment where he gets stuck, or perhaps get on my own horse would help. Don't do your little kick. Devastating to my health bar, sir. There's the... Well, completely useless. I was gonna say there's the last potion, but it's gone now. Alright. So, now is the carriage clear? I did get one more, thank goodness. Alright, not bad for wearing an aristocrat coat, but we'll have to get better at that. Catch up before the next group of guys attacks. Hello, hello, you made accidental latte foam art? In the form of lattes? Well, here are those next guys I was worried about. Great. Stay down. Didn't mean to disembark from the attack. Alright, we have a sorcerer. They're getting closer to some other guys. Maybe we can still catch them. I hate to trouble you, sir. This is rude, but could I just hamstring you? Oh, no. Okay, carriage is stopped. That's all I care about. Don't start again. Until after I've got the... Yes! I didn't know if that was going to work. I genuinely did not. A great axe. Alright. That will come in handy against trees. And no beef with me. You're so large and stunning. I'll see you later when I can easily cheese you. That's all I was hoping for. Hooray. Aristocrat boots. Collect the whole set. Get back here. Don't you run away from me. Don't you run away and disappear forever, taking your loot with you. With a whetstone knife, you can use ashes of war to grant your armaments new skills at sites of grace. That sounds like a very important item to hide behind a thing you might never catch if you're slow. But thank you. An armament can only have one skill. Any skill it previously had will be removed. An armament's type determines what skills it can have, and some special armaments have unique skills and cannot be granted new ones. Adding affinities. So, it was an Ash of War we unlocked. Not the whetstone knife. We still need to find a whetstone knife. I was gonna say, if you put a whetstone knife in that guy, what? Why? What did he do to you? So up that way is Storm Hill. What I want to do eventually... Actually, we're very close to the telescope. Let me do this in a more cinematic manner. If I may access the telescope. See where it is. Right by the carriage. You made an accidental artistic butt in your latte foam. That still counts. Oh, I don't like the fact that there's a patrolling guy out here. The patrolman, he scares me because of great hooves. And once he comes near me, he seems to never move. No, he's gone. It's fine. We're fine. There's the telescope. Hi again. Sorry about your... Ew. Sorry. Somebody misfired the nail gun. Alright, those guys are coming back this way. I'll need to be quick. But what I'd like to do at some point is, I think there's that bridge, the broken bridge there. There's another bridge that connects the ravine. I need to get up on top of Storm Hill back to where we first met Melina. And then along this ridge, there's a couple of interesting looking structures I'd like to find. So we gotta go finish going through the ravine itself, finish off the Murkwater catacombs, and then check the upper level. Those are sort of my outstanding items to the north. I think now that we have the great axe from in there, we're safe to teleport back. Let's try to do the whole Church of Marika thing. Real quick. I don't actually know what that flask gives you, but I'm hoping once we have it in our inventory, we can find out. It is intensely difficult to stop thinking about this game. I was trying to sleep last night. Oh boy, was I trying to sleep. And no, I was just playing this, but without the luxury of actually playing. So let me go ahead and make a waypoint for myself. Otherwise I will get lost. There's this little graveyard-looking thing here, and then some more in there. I'm assuming anywhere you see something on the map, there is an actual applicable item in game. So like caves, ruins, potential pits. I wonder if the Pit of Screaming from down here by the dragon-burned ruins is on the map. Must be somewhere, like, right in there. It was very, very uncomfortable to hear. Alright. I did, before I quit out last night, I did figure out, finally, how to hot equip, if that's the phrase, our special, yeah, spectral steed. And it was by going in here. Here's your pouch menu. That's when you hold down Y, you open your pouch. And then I was able to select the spectral steed whistle. Hurrah. So now when I hold down Y and then down on the D-pad, in combat, anytime, finally figured it out. Only took me like 6 hours. So there's Kenneth, up on the precipice, awaiting the reclamation of his fort. We still don't know who has claimed it. It is perhaps these goblin gentlemen or human bandits. It sounded like he had a name, whoever it was, so I'm assuming it's some sort of human bandits. Not that those guys don't have a name. I'm sorry, Loktog. I apologize. Swovu, no, please, forgive me. Looks golden and important. I'm not much good at mounted combat on the cliff yet. Nor ever will I be. It's gone. We'll have to try again. Silly little crystal lizards. Oh, there it is. Ah! Curses. I should have taken the continued audio clue as a hint. That was just foolishness. I wish I'd gotten coffee instead of water. I'll be right back. Hello, hello. Good afternoon. It's so nice to see you there. That's a very good question. Is this a horse I'm riding? Or is it a very special, oversized goat? I don't know. But I love him. With all my heart. Interesting sort of stair-steppy gravestone situation, but I don't think I could quite make it. No, not quite. Not unless there's a double jump upgrade in the offing. Alright, so presumably this is the third church of Marika that we have stumbled across in our journeys. I think we're going to ignore the troll man for now, though that does seem to be a... Hey, you probably chickened out from fighting those trolls double time at the coach, so here's a single troll to whet your steel against. But instead of my steel, I've decided to just wet my breeches and flee. The classic question of water in a From Software game. Step in it? Instant death? Oh, no problem. You're just on time. Welcome, welcome. I hate to interrupt your communion with the divine. The third church of Marika. We've arrived. There's even a thing for us. You know, I should have been sneaking in instead of bursting through the stained glass with my horse goat, but it's fine. No one's here to kill us. Alright, I'll see you later, horse goat. I'll see you later, Emma Peel. The sacred tear, I'm assuming. Ow. Ah, my knee. A sacred tear. Good to see you. Marika, I presume? I don't know. What she is the goddess of? War and death, presumably. No, she seems like maybe hugs. Maybe hugs and eels? Patron saint of eels? The flask of wondrous physic. You can find crystal tears, ow, at the bases of minor erd trees. That must be everything but the ghostly one. We finally have a name for them, hooray! Elsewhere, throughout the lands between. At sites of grace, you can mix 2 crystal tears in the flask of wondrous physic. This will allow you to create elixirs with various custom effects. Interesting. So we have a health one, a mana one, and now a it's up to you flask. I wonder what the options are. We also have achieved a crimson crystal tear. Thank you. The flask itself. And let's rest. Alright, good. I feel so much freer without those pauldrons weighting me down. However, now my nasal passages are weighting me down. 1 second. I'll be right back. I did not mute that, did I? I'd like to apologize for blowing my nose directly into your ear. That was not my intention. Ah, well, that's one. How embarrassing. Okay, so I don't seem to have 2 crystal tears yet. That sacred tear we picked up is not, We are horrified, Peter. I know, I'm sorry. I was hoping to keep that a little more private. I've got that early morning stuffy nose like a mozzarella croissant. So we must need another actual crystal tear. Not sacred. Those aren't for you. I do apologize. How embarrassing. Well, we're moving on now. Ooh, I almost have 10,000 runes. I don't know if that's from the, cotillion we took out, or what? I know I was pooping around a little, killing folks last night. I'm sorry, so I got some extra runes. But I didn't do anything important. They were just, nameless sorcerers out in the wastes, I promise. So we could get maybe 2 or 3 level up points, if need be. However, at this point, once everything's evened out a little bit more, we almost have everything up in the 15s. What I really need to do is look at my items and figure out what items am I interested in using in the future. And then base my choices off of that. Like, I need more arcane points to properly use the Bleeding Dagger of Reduvia, which I know does have, like, while we were fighting Bloody Finger Narigius, I forget. He had like a ranged blood attack that I'm assuming is connected to this dagger. I don't know exactly, but I'd like to find out. That sounds fun. Because that might be the only ranged attack I currently have. We also got a ton of these heavy swords recently, which I would like to try. The Dismounter, particularly. We also got our Great Axe. That's the one. So that would take 30 strength. Like, ooh, we'd need to bump up strength to make use of that. And we could also get up to 18 dexterity for a flail, etc. So we need to decide what item we want to try, and then we can more easily decide how to position our character around that. Let me make sure I grabbed all the goodies. I do love a good waypoint that auto-clears. And that takes care of one of our notes that we bought from Kale, Merchant Kale. Let me see what the other one is while we hide in this bush, as I've completely forgotten by this point. Flask of Wondrous Physic, found. Thank you for the note. Waypoint Ruins, that's where I keep fast traveling back to. Someone lurks among the Waypoint Ruins. I'm assuming they mean Pumpkinhead? I don't know why that helps me. Like, yeah, there's a boss in the ruins, but thank you? I'm assuming they mean Pumpkinhead. I don't know. So that is mostly what I wanted to come out east for. We obviously have the entire coast, the entire Mistwood, and at the end of the road, the fort itself that we have to take out in East Mistwood. But for just a moment, let me run back to Stormgate, to the gate front. I guess we could even go all the way past the trolls up to the house. Oh yes, is there a specific song for me to sing? If I know of / can look up said song, I will certainly try to appease you, in the hopes that you might answer my future prayers. Stormhill Shack. Let's ignore the trolls, as I attempt to do, but often fail to do, and get up all the way here. Stormhill. So this is where we first met Melina. There was someone else sneaking in here. Yes, and they were like, we're gonna be grafted onto the body of a beautiful spider and live forever as the many hideous person spider being.
Pleasure to see you. Did you give the little Christmas
But I don't think she sold anything. I've been running all around Limgrave. I'm sorry. I know I promised I'd give them that message. So I don't know if she has anything to, buy. I think I'll just see her again after I speak with the chrysalids. Seems like one of those people you meet a couple of times along the way. And ends tragically. Of that we can be assured. Alright, so that's the crevasse that we just skirted around. That takes us back down. It looks like there is an Evergoal nearby, as we have some crawly snakemen. So where I need to go is, if this is a road, I'd just like to follow it until we have access to this upper level. I want to make sure we have one fast travel point up here to prevent us having to go all the way around. So let's try heading to the Crossroads and see what we find. It may be that this upper plateau is a higher leveled area, which isn't exactly what I want to get into. I really, really hope we can find one of our classic stamina shields at some point. A grass crest, etc. I don't want to get too desperately close to the aqueduct or the broken road or whatever that is, because they've had a tendency to ambush me from every overhang I have put myself underneath. Alright, I don't want to get too tremendously high. Nor do I want to anger the upper trolls. I could probably take out a wandering bandit at this point. But I've said that as my famous last words before. It does, however, seem to have an item. An item in the road, milady. He also has friends in the bushes back there. Not good for me. Try to make sure we keep them separated. Hey, don't pay no mind. No, that's not what I meant. Don't turn around. Don't! That was my one wish. If you were Santa, you'd be doing a terrible job, sir. Alright, and I did not keep them separated. He has so much strength when he's enraged with the red light that he beats you out of range of a riposte. No! Wow, I should be dead. I actually should be. Thank you for taking pity on me. Right, he's enraged again. What was that I was just saying? I can probably take a wandering. I always forget about the enragement. That's what is sad. You can take him out before that point. It helps a lot. Alright. Don't you dare. Don't you dare, I said. Wow, every flask I have. Okay. So let's see if we can take the other one out with no flasks at all, since the first one took 3. It's not ideal. We'll either run back to the site of grace, or hopefully find another one shortly. Another aspect of the multiplayer is you can now see the ghosts of other folks roaming the lands between, which can sometimes help because you can see them freaking out before you get attacked. And it's also sometimes hilarious as they fall off of edges. We all do. Sorcerer, why do you find the weirdest places? This is not the water closet. Oh, that's my first sorcerer's staff. I wonder what staff combat is like, and if I have the intelligence to supplement such things. Probably an instant no. There's a site of grace. Let's get our potions back. Very, very generous with these sites. Hello! I'm always paranoid, because From Software likes to hide not only dialogue, but also, like the only way to get certain NPCs to progress or go to certain spots or ally with you or die. They hide that behind talking to them at very specific points. And so every time I see a new NPC, I'm like, should we save it? Should we be safe and save it? Or should we talk to him first? And half the time, it does not matter. It really... I'm being over-paranoid. But I'm just gonna talk to him.
Not seen you before.
The War Master's shack.
Tarnished, just like you. Let me ask you something.
You look quite shiny to
Are
me.
you here in the lands between to take up the fight? Does your faith in the guidance of grace hold firm, despite the collapse of the Golden Order?
I don't even know what the Golden Order is, so yeah, my faith is rock solid. Did not affect me. This is also a weird aspect of these games, is that they'll ask you very vague questions, and usually it's just like a, do you want to continue speaking to me? 90% of the time, that's all they're saying, but you have to say things like, I would love to be grafted onto the hideous body of a spider, in order to, like, say yes. And so, sure, my faith, it holds so firm, you wouldn't believe it. It's also like they know by now that you've caught on to their weird vagaries, and so they could be intentionally making it to the point where he asks you questions about, like, do you support the Golden Order? And then when you say, yes, my faith holds firm, he's like, I've been against the Golden Order since they killed my family long ago.
Yes, you're a tarnished
And who knows?
through and through.
Oh, genuinely,
Takes
who
me
knows?
back.
Did this guy just
That's
attack
authority
him?
needed now more than ever.
This is an
Anything
NPC,
bearing the
bro.
torch of my battle arts.
Don't
All I know
don't
is
attack
the
him.
sword. Picked up a fair few tricks in my time too. Now's the
Maybe
time
there's
to
no
pass
choice
them on
later.
to a good and proper tarnished like you.
I mean, yeah, like this guy, if you didn't want to learn any weapon skills, go ahead and attack him, but sounds like sort of an integral part of the mid-game.
Battle arts in these lands that I've yet to discover.
Ghosts are hilarious.
Mementos of all the warriors who raised their arms in battle, lost and died. A fine
Oh no,
tale
that's not how it
all
works.
told of
And I have
true
not.
chivalric romance. That's how I fell in love with the sword and the arts of combat. It grants meaning even to
You know,
falling
I
in battle,
think I know what you mean.
to death itself.
Alright, he's out of talkies. Let's check the skills. An upward cut. We call that an uppercut in my line of work. Kick. I would use that so often. Oh, you kind of want to go back to sleep? Absolutely. This is the perfect time for it. I'm sure the rousing drums of the next boss fight will waken you before you miss your opportunity to do chores. And I'm also being threatened with a myriad of num-nums. Whatever song you'd like. I'm never sure would be able to activate the mystical musical madness. I'm usually right in the middle of trying to remember something, and I have no clue about any songs. I've heard some songs. I just can't remember them in that moment, deer in the headlights. So if you have a song you'd like me to sing, that would make it easier. Capable of thrusting. I don't know if we're ready to make those sorts of decisions. I mean, we'll need to speak to several involved parties. Quick step. That sounds like an evasive sort of thing. Stormblade. We've all played around with the Stormblade. Thanks, Onion Bro. And parry. I think you automatically get that on a shield. Interesting that you could add it to anything. Like the dagger, the blood dagger of Reduvia. Could you make it a parrying dagger? That would probably remove its ranged blood spray attack, but the combat versatility possibilities are amazing. It's a little redundant, but it felt good to say it that way. The versatility possibilities. Okay, so, where am I standing? This is the Crossroads. War Master's shack is just there. Murkwater Catacombs. Let's try to make it to the bridge here. This is a good spot, but I'm not sure if it's going to give us access back down. I kind of want to have a whole free loop up here. So we'll head to waypoint number 2. Goodness, I love that. Having that equipped. Seems to be some sort of battlements. Probably not something I want to get involved with. There are some sort of archers along the rocks. Loving how many different angles you can come at this stuff from. Still haven't found the Evergoal, but there's clearly one close by. And I still don't know if I'm wildly mispronouncing that. Let's find out. If we're safe for just a moment, I'd like to resolve my ignorance. Because it sounds like it's one of those, I don't know, Welsh, Gaelic words that probably has something special about it. Or maybe it's just not a word. Maybe it's something they made up, because there are almost no results for that. So I guess it's up to you. If it's a made-up word, make sure I didn't mix my syllables. Yeah, okay. We'll stick with Evergoal. House of the Rising Sun, a la Leonard Nimoy. Was that the clip I think I've seen where he just like dramatically spoke the words instead of actually... I cannot at this point remember. I have no idea what the tune of it is off the top of my head. I'm looking at the lyrics now. from the absolute recesses of my memory. There's a house way down in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy, and God, I know I'm one. Nimoy actually saying it was Shatner, yeah, doing like Rocket Man, right? It was, I'm a rocket man, burning out my fuse out here. So that was terrible, I'm sorry. I don't remember the tune exactly, but it's something like that. I see a man. I see a man framed saucily between two trees. He's moving. He's still framed. He's moving. He's such a son of a... How dare you? How dare you exist? You hideous lava slugs. Stop it. That's rude of me. I mean, they're just doing their best. So it does seem like I will probably want to be on the lower level. We'll have to go through the battlements to not break my horse's hooves, unless we can find a gust of wind here. I am not seeing the tippy top of a gust of wind. But this doesn't look as far. We can probably skirt down this way. Just like a steak. What do you see, owls? Tell me, Legolas. What do your elf eyes see? Okay, first of all, rude. Second, it's very snowy, so I don't... Putting me on the spot here. This is above tree height. How do you feel about above tree height, Emma Peel? Okay, good. Whew. So this is the big broken bridge. I've been very curious about what that's leading out to. Something interesting. I'm also very curious about that building, but we can probably get there up the road from War Master's shack. Keep trying to scope out the hopefully intact bridge here. Interesting. Hello? Unthinkable. Our hallowed resting place is violated. To refuse the Erdtree's call to return, to live within death. Sickening. It is a bit of a point of disgust for me as well. We'll get over it together. Are you wearing spurs, or is that a mushroom growing out of you? Must be a mushroom growing out of him. The death-touched catacombs. Alright, we're gonna leave that for... We're just gonna leave... Since it has a spot, we may as well check. However, I need to, before I get into a mini-boss situation, I need to spend some significant money, some coinage. I think we finally have over 10,000. Let me double check. Yes, 10,294. So, there's probably merchant items I should purchase before anything. Oh, thank you so much for the gifted subs. That is so kind of you. Get out of here before I spoil it. Don't make me get a wet towel. I will noodle your... Wait. That is so kind of you. Thank you. In all genuine gratitude. I don't know if I'm supposed to do this when it shows up, or if it's like, are we on to repeat dialogue options? Hopefully we're safe. Let's try it now.
Me?
I'm guessing she might pop up when we have something new.
My purpose, given to me by my mother inside the Erdtree. long ago, for the reason that I yet live, burned and
I still can't believe I didn't mute it.
Something for which I must apologize. I've acted the Finger Maiden, yet can offer no guidance.
You've acted a right Finger Maiden.
My purpose was long ago lost.
Does it have something to do with your eye tattoo? Because that's curious to me. I don't mean to pry. It's your own private business. But if you want to go ahead and whip out a cup of grog and tell me how you got that eye tattoo and what exactly it means, I'm all ears. You can't see them under my hair, but she's not interested. Okay, that's fine. So my question is, where are there merchants with stuff? We've got the Church of Ella Merchant Kale. We have Patches in the Murkwater Cave. We've got a nomadic merchant, nameless, I believe, on the beach under that ruined arch. I bought cookbooks from Kale and the beach guy. There might have been a cookbook I couldn't afford at Patches. I can't remember. I might have also just bought it. So I guess we should run back to Murkwater Cave with our money. Let's see if there's anything else we can buy. I know we got Margit's Shackle, but then we were out. And can't do it in the cave. Fair enough. Then we can come right back here and continue on to the bridge. Nice to have another save point. That works out great. I am curious what's in Death-Touched Catacombs, too. We should make that a priority of this session to come back and check in there. So, Murkwater Cave. That's the one. Stop rambling. Select the cave. I'm having entirely too much fun with this game. And all of its many, many versatile options. Alright, I always forget these guys will still be hanging out in here every time for the rest of eternity. That's actually what the Elden Ring is all about. Okay. Got him. Oh, thank you. And a highwayman hood. Nice. Looks a little dirty, but I'll take it. Patches. Waiting to ambush me, were you? Is that why you're crouched like this?
Welcome to Patches Emporium.
Alright, so he's got some pickled fowl feet. But enough about his hygiene, am I right? We could get the parrying dagger. We could get this shield, which is kind of nice. Always good to have a sacrificial twig. Yeah. We can get 10 great arrows. So if we were just trying to remove items or remove runes from play so that we'd be safe to die, we could get this stone sword key, and that would be safe in our inventory. But I'm pretty sure there would be a more important item than that somewhere. I will never, out of my own volition, invade another player's world so I can save some money here on that. I am a little bit tempted by the Horsecrest shield. It's pretty light. It does a pretty good amount of physical damage negation. And it just looks pretty. So I'll take it. Alright. I still can't believe they put that in print. So he still hasn't mentioned anything about this? What I'm kind of assuming it is like one of those teleporter chest traps, and it will put you in a pit somewhere, and then he'll be on the top of the pit. Tee-hee! Tee-hee! For hours. Is what I think that is, but in any other game, he would be genuinely telling you when he explained it earlier that it's just when you buy every item, every item from my shop and give me all of your money things, you will have access to it. Visions of regret. Sounds like a trap. Let's see what people say about patches. These are the player-created multiplayer messages. Be wary of liar, therefore try attacking. Yep. Didn't expect liar.
Forgot something.
Player messages are a bit of fun.
No trouble.
No, I was just trying to...
Cheers for that.
I was just... Switch action. There you go. No, not the blood stain. Fingers? But still, no here again. Sometimes they don't make any sense at all. That's the mind of a player gone mad. Just to explain it to you, by the way, it's like you can hit the message menu and then you can hit, like, try fire, try attacking. So it's like they all have a certain silly cadence to them because you can only make them out of these templates. And that's sort of part of the fun, part of the meme. So I don't know if I'm ready to get teleported somewhere terrible yet. Let's try to find that other merchant. Once again, this would have really helped if I had peeked into that coastal cave and seen if there's a sign of grace in there. Let's try to make that our next priority. We'll go as close as we can, which is probably the opening plinth. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble so much here. I am way too involved in this game. I'm having such a good time. Back in. I can probably fast travel from anywhere. Not back in. Damn. Alright. So I need to go down the coast just a touch, hit this cave again. I should probably swing into the Church of Ella Merchant regardless, but we can fast travel right to him. And I wonder when we're going to finally take out this mounted gentleman. Probably should try to take on the first boss, the first official boss, before we come back for him. Alright. Mount up. Let's do this. The freedom of movement, combined with the fact that it's like not a separate thing from combat, like you can launch into combat / evasion at any time, is so satisfying in this. It really takes a hold of you. The fact that it's kinda up to you if you're gonna get into a fight or not is a rare pleasure in a Dark Souls game. You have so many options to escape. Performing some sort of seedy beachfront get-together, I see how it is. With your giant crab friend. So I guess now we know those are called minor Erd trees, which must make that one the major Erd tree. That guy's being a major Erd tree. Hey, I missed you and your giant ass.
You again. I don't want any trouble.
I'm just here to give you stuff. Good. We did not buy the cookbook. That'll take some of our souls. Fantastic. We could also get a broadsword. Could get a club. Club is sort of a classic. You never need a club until you find an enemy that can only be damaged with blunt stuff, and you don't have any blunt stuff. So we could keep a club, but I think we do have that flail, which might be blunt / piercing. I'm not sure. Should definitely get this. Trolls and land squirts. Alright. I've got the land squirts. I could also... I'm seeing now that it isn't... When I first bought it, I thought they came in packs of 5. Now that it's dropped to 4, I see now that he has 5 total to purchase. I did not receive 5 when I purchased one. Good to know. I don't think I'm going to use the broadsword more than I would use the longsword. so it's something that I can pick up at any time later in the game. I might need a short bow for some of those sticky situations. Let's go ahead and do that, plus arrows. 60 of them. Oh, 100 arrows. And alleviates buildup of sleep, so people must be able to put you to sleep. Put you in blood loss. Obviously, we've been in blood loss before. So I could just spend some money building up my stores here. I should at least have one of each and 3 poisons for when we make it to the inevitable swamp.
Well, be on your way then.
So, now let's go to the Church of Ella. No, no, no. Not yet, you don't. You selfish such and such. We're gonna go into the coastal cave and see if there's a site of grace, because I want to get back to this guy without all this effort. There's really no effort at all. I don't know what I'm complaining about. Let's check. We still have a lot of souls, so let's check very carefully. Tumbleweed, eh? Do not trust. Alright, we got our site of grace. This is how we will fast travel back to the Underarch merchant to tickle his underarch. Why? So, last thing I want to check is the Church of Ella. Let's just get outside the cave, and then any remaining runes that are unspent can be used for level up. This is my plan. That's the one. I am so glad you guys are hanging out here. Peeling carrots, though, that sounds like a fun time. Everybody okay? It's so misty. Hello? Why is it so misty? Is he dead? Did you kill him? I can't speak to him. He must just be sleeping, as his donkey friend. I shudder to think what this message says. I don't trust the player base to the extent that I'm willing to show that message live. Hi. Your stunning hat and moon combination is just exquisite.
Tarnished. I am the witch Renna. I'd heard tell of a tarnished hurtling about atop a spectral steed, and upon looking into the matter, the talk I surmise is of thee. Thou art possessed of the power, no? To call
I art
the
possessed.
spectral steed named Torrent.
I don't want to snitch on my best friend. So if you're like looking for Torrent, I don't know what you're talking about. But if you're just here to give him some like hay cubes, then yeah, I can call the spectral steed.
As I had hoped, I was entrusted.
Choose your next
this
words
for thee
carefully.
by Torrent's former master.
The spirit calling bell. Aha, perhaps that's finally what lets me use. We've been finding jellyfish ashes, mercenary ashes. Maybe we can finally use them now. And lone wolf. Though there are 3 of them, so that's 3 wolf ashes. But,
'Tis a bell for calling forth spirits. Summon them.
Thank
within.
you.
From ash and return to the Erdtree. The spirits will obey thine command but briefly, as they recall battles past.
But briefly.
Now it is thine, to do with as thou wishest.
I wish to leave it in my inventory for the rest of the game and go as a purely melee build with no help. That's probably what I would do if I didn't
Forgive
remember.
mine intrusion, Tarnished. I doubt we
Not
shall
at all.
again meet. But all the same,
I was hoping you'd stick around.
knowing well the lands between. How long will it be, I wonder, before the tarnished tire of obeisance to the two fingers?
I'm already tired of it. No, don't go. Please stay forever. I miss you. And the moon. Oh, the moon is now my only memento of her. This is rough. Oh, you're awake. And you're sleepy, sleepy donkey.
It's you again.
What do you have in your
Always
inventory
on
again?
Care to purchase
That was very
anything?
nice. I should probably equip that somewhere so we can access it handily, but maybe you need to, like, do it at a shrine. We'll figure it out. Telescope, yes. I'll take it. I'm gonna get all 3 of these crackpots. I don't really care about the chainmail armor at this point in the game. I do kind of want to try the leather shield. Let's get it. Alright, so anything left? 2,000 should be enough for 1 level up, perhaps? Let's check. And then we can return to the grave-touched, death-touched catacombs. Not grave-touched at all. Endurance to 15. Maybe dexterity to 15. Oh, it's so tempting either way. Let's do dexterity to 15. I'm gonna need some intelligence, or people are just gonna... They're just never gonna take me seriously. Unless I up my intelligence. So, death-touched catacombs. They were... here. And then we'll be back on our looping path. Now we have very little to lose. We have a ton of new items. Let's just make sure we're synced to this bonfire. And then we'll see what's down here. I'm almost to the point where I've done enough exploring around. I should try to upgrade a weapon. I should try to make a decision about what weapon to use. And then upgrade it. So it's like, do these things have anything to do with my spirit calling bell? Summoning pool is now functional. Sounds like you're in an area where you can use your bell, if you so choose. But I don't know if that's just the Shrine of Marika, and it has nothing to do with it. What I don't understand is if it's a Shrine of Marika, or a stake, whatever it is, of Marika, it's like 14 feet from the site of grace, so what time are they really saving you? It's a catacomb, which means skeletons, which means I'm gonna kill one of them and then forget that he comes back to life and get backstabbed. That will happen. They're also rather healthy. As skeletons go, a couple of hits. Okay. On to the lower level then. Nope. Misfire. And there's another. Oh no. And he's got a bow. Alright, get out of this corner. It's time to leave. Quick sip of the flask. Wait for them to figure out the staircase. Wait and wait. We'll just... okay. I wasn't blocking at exactly that moment. I think you counted on that. Oh, never like little areas like this. In a From Software game, it feels like it's gonna crumble and you'll be stuck in a pit forever. And it's just punishment. You should have known better than to go into that dark, dingy corner alone. So there's no one to blame but yourself for when it happens. Alright. Seemingly the first antechamber cleared. Let's check secret passage back there. I keep seeing this and I'm like, yeah, that's definitely a pick-upable item. Nope. Nope. This is another thing where it's like, you should know better than to go in here. So we're gonna punish you when you go in here. But I don't want it. I want to be left alone. And then when inevitably you tiptoe through on your best behavior, they make a fool out of you. It's just the classic game. Alright, any of you guys join in the party? There's a lot of you. Alright. Oh. So far, so good. Got some glove wart. That's all I really care about. One thing that is nice about having the multiplayer, playing online mode, is that sometimes they will leave messages in front of what are genuinely illusory walls. Something incredible ahead. And that can be helpful, but also every single wall in the game has a message that says it's an illusory wall. And most of the time, they're just trolling you. So it's like you might as well not even look at the messages. But sometimes, if there's one that's saying a clear and helpful illusory wall ahead, and it has high appraisal, it can be worth listening to. Freaks me out now that multiplayer's on, because we did go in that one area that had actual ghosts that were not players. And that'll probably happen again. Ooh! I'm a big fan. In fact, I might try that right now. I think that's the starting weapon you get. Eek, scared me. Nice grappling hook. This is the starting weapon you get if you pick the samurai class. I was hoping to be able to find it, because I'm between the long sword and this. I wasn't sure which one should be my everyday weapon, effectively. So let's give it a try. You're back. Hi. It's got a nice reach. Effectively the same heavy moveset. It's a little weird, but I'll get used to it. It's at a good angle for skeletons. I don't really want to knock him off, but oh well. We'll do it. Alright, he's got a sword. He's the only archer in town. And run away. Oh, we run with the swiftest little tootsies. Got him. Okay, I like the katana. Mm-hmm. Yep, I like it. That's a good time. Was very lucky. I did not see him nor expect him there. Alright. Is that it? A scripture wooden shield. Interesting. There's another chamber back there. Ah, yes, because there was a heavy door by the front entrance. I'm remembering finally. I do so like the fact in this that in past Dark Souls games, in my experience, you can grind in a little area and then you get to a point where there's nowhere else you can go until you beat a boss. Bosses are obstacles. Let's pull this lever and run. I see they have reinforcements. They are obstacles to your progress. And in this game, it's like all these little dungeons have bosses at the end of them, and they're not really obstacles to your progress. They're just a sort of collectible item now, and it makes it so much more fun to think of them that way. Like, yeah, I can't wait to check that boss off my list, rather than, I wish I could play the game instead of trying to check this boss off my list. So I really like how they managed to make it no less, say, difficult, while being an incredible amount of fun. Pardon me while I get savaged by a skeleton in the midst of my praise. So yeah, I'm really gonna need to... Oh, the stairs make that tricky. I'm gonna need to decide if I want to upgrade this or the longsword we've been using. Because both are effectively the same. A generic starting weapon, but with such an easy-to-use and versatile moveset. It makes them a pleasure. Oh, yeah. It's hard to pass up. It really is. Let me get my bearings here. That does not have the kind of reach that the katana has. It's the main thing. Like, I can get in someone's range a lot quicker with this bad boy. So, if I had to pick a generic weapon to start upgrading for our first official boss battle, it's probably going to be this one. Let's get my potions back, and then we'll take a swing at the boss. I can't wait. In fact, that gave me quite a few runes again. I was at 200 last time we checked. I'm not quite up there to being able to afford another one. But maybe there are some guys who will take pity on me out here? Anybody have runes? Nope, I am desperately alone. Alright. Okay. Well, that's fine. The other thing I could check is if we have any of those rune items in my inventory that would get us up to 2,000. It's really not important. We can lose 1,400. But if there's any chance of taking advantage... Let's use for crafting items. These are what I'm thinking of. So, I don't know how many they give you. Maybe 3 and 5? I'm not sure. Let's try using one of these. 200 for one of those. Alright. see what category they were under. I'll try to pay better attention. It doesn't say in this menu. Never mind. Alright, so let me use a few more. That was too many. Oh, far, far too many. That will get us in. And endurance. Alright. Little to lose. Let's try the boss. I see the question in the chat there. Do I have a favorite poem? Because you've noticed I have some up on Patreon. I do. I don't have nearly enough up on Patreon. I have been grinding my gears over there, but I desperately need to send an update. My favorite poem, I'm trying to think if it's already on there. I did a reading of Ozymandias a while back, which I've always just loved. Don't forget, don't you forget, Bryan Cranston's reading of that for the 5th season of Breaking Bad is sort of an homage to his version. And that's always been a favorite of mine. I think I have my favorite Shakespearean sonnet up there as well. And I don't remember the number of the sonnet. But it's the one about, like, I wish after I die... Oh, he doesn't have a full health bar. Something like, after I die, I hope that you don't remember me fondly if it causes you any pain to do so, and that in your sweet heart I would be forgotten. It's one of my old favorites. Okay, he can really wreck my stamina. Good to know. My stamina is feeling wrecked. I still don't have any ranged options currently equipped, so we're gonna have to do this against his speed. You can see me coming from a mile away. Okay? What can't you see coming? Yikes. Time for a flask. A sweet, sweet crimson flask. Alright. Don't spam it. Come on now. I know he's fast, but don't spam it. Yikes. There's that flask again. Couple more hits. Last health potion. He's also... He knows. We're down to the last exchange. He's playing it coy. I wish that had staggered. I don't have the health to lose, but at least I took him tit for tat. Don't phrase it that way. Yes! Found that opening. Ho ho ho. That's Merchant Kale I was channeling. Assassin's Crimson Dagger. Fantastic. Anything else for me? Ooh, there's a chest. Yes. Likely. Give me one moment. Quick sip. I'm also gonna... But I'm muting it. I'm muting it. There. I promised. Well, I missed my mouth entirely. I've got a wet leg. That's too bad. Alright. Death root. Ah, I've touched it. Must be an upgrade item of some sort. Okay, not seeing any other goodies. We got mostly the katana out of the arrangement, but also his assassin's dagger, which sounds pretty amazing. So I'm thinking, do we have any other crafting, like blacksmith specifically, other than the one at the Church of Ella? I don't think we've met an Andre character, an actual blacksmith NPC to help us with that. I would love to rest at this thing. Thank you for taking me to the entrance. I need potions. Alright, I also got almost 2,000 runes back from him. So we can continue exploring, try to find one more site of grace, and maybe connect up over here somewhere. I'd love to be able to make sure we have a path and don't have to always go around. But we have multiple fast travel points now, so it's becoming less of an issue. There's also these ruins up on the precipice here. There's something back there. There's a cave I know I missed, like right here, that looks very suspicious. I am curious about that, and maybe down there. I'd like to, at some point, try the spirit calling bell we just received. I don't know where that's possible, and if I need to equip it first. So we have Hammer Guy still in the Murkwater Catacombs. Let's do this and run to the Church of Ella, which is the only place I know there's a anvil. Try to upgrade our katana if we have any smithing stones, and then we'll run back to the Hammer Guy and see if an upgraded weapon helps us out. New plan. I would like to strengthen this armament, please. So it is just taking smithing stones, just one of them? Yes. Alright, now I'd need 4, I suppose. Fair enough, I'll find another. Also upgrade the short bow and the torch. That's interesting. You can also upgrade shields. Alright, so this is +1. That's not a huge boost, but I'll take any boost I can find. We could probably get enough runage to level up before we waste it. Let me just pick a good spot for that. It's probably my best spot for easy runage. Take out a couple of these shield guys. I could spend excess runes on sorcery spells at some point too. I don't have any ability to cast them, but that doesn't stop me from being a big fan. I do see now there's this like icon to the left of the screen. It's like an open portal. I don't know if that means am I being invaded? Or does that mean you're currently free to use your summoning bell? Because this would be a good time to test it out. Against all these baddies. Let me see here. Is it a weapon or is it an item only? Must be an item. Let's try pouch. Forget what it looked like. Seemingly none of these things. Okay, so it's not a item that I can equip. What is it then? I wonder. Oh well, we'll just launch in Sans spirit assistance before they get too far down the road. Alright. Probably mounted guy first. Let's get back on the environment. Hey, mounted guy! Don't you turn away from me. Get up here. Come on. Come on. You stay down. Actually much easier to take them off a horse with a weapon that's just a little longer. Oh, he extended his combo in the most beautiful way. He's really seeking my death. He's probably gonna get it. Alright, you calm? You good? Stay down. And you... Aw, nice sidestep. Alright, that put me above 2,000. Who else has some extra souls for me? There he is. Get back here, you. I can sense the souls. Love it. Alright, sorcerer, do you got anything in your pockets? 19. I'm disappointed in you, sorcerer. That should about do it. Let's get back in there and... there. See if we can level up, and then we'll have nothing to lose against the hammer guy. Some stuff I missed. Very important, a dismounter I can sell. There were also a ton of bodies in here I didn't check very thoroughly. Seems to be fine. Alright. I think yeah, this is my one message I've ever placed. Excuse me. Was the tip, try fire. But no one has appraised that as being helpful. Like, okay, maybe I didn't put it in a good location. I thought it was very helpful to try fire. I just thought people would like to know. So... I don't know why I'm going back down in here. I guess other than that it's the nearest level up. I could probably fast travel to where we want to be and then level up, but we'll do it here. Oh, so close. Okay, I still need 100. No problem. Having sat down, that'll bring back one of the shield guys. We'll sneak up behind him. Not the time for that. I understand. Curious what that little message up on the thingy says. Alright, there's the backmost shield guy. Gonna let the mounted guy get past me first. Before I start swinging. Nice hit. Alright. We're back up here. Got him. That's getting a little easier. Alright, don't care about any of you. How about this guy? I don't mean for that to be insulting. I hope you enjoy your lives. Where are you? What are you? You seem very invested in the... Get your head out of your... troll. Alright. He does have something. As do you. An early grave. So that should be plenty to actually level up now. Goodbye. Enjoy your day. So where was it we were trying to get? I'm still mid-combat. No map. No map for mid-combat. Trying to get down to the fort there. Also trying to get across the bridge here. And then here for the boss. Let's try that first. I won't weasel out of it. We'll level up at this. Bonfire. I keep wanting to say, it's a site of grace. This should put me in the poorhouse, which is exactly what I want. All of these are at 15, so this is my first... typically my first character through is stupidly vague and does not have any specialization. Experts in this game who know exactly what they're doing and what weapon they want to use will just boost exactly the things they need and not generalize across all the stats. But typically when I play through the first time, I generalize across all the stats, just so that I can have a little taste of all the weapons at some point near the end game, if I want to get into sorcery or something. So at about 15 of my main 4, which is endurance, strength, dexterity, and vigor, as a sword wielder right now, I'm starting to want to boost up the other ones that are lagging behind. However, with magic, you really just want to focus on one school at a time, or else there's definitely no way you'll get any high-level spells in anything. But you also don't necessarily need high-level spells. So, I don't know what I want to start focusing on at this point, is the long, rambly way to say that. And FP I kind of want to keep that up as a secondary main skill, purely because all the weapon skills look so interesting in this, and they do take those points, so it would be good to keep mind along, also. But I'm just not absolutely sure what I should be using. Let me make sure there isn't no restrictions on this. It does scale off of strength and dexterity, but not tremendously well. So, there's not much help I can do for myself there. I don't think I have any better armor I can wear for this fight specifically. I mean, I of course have better armor, but I don't have any new armor. And I would like to stay as speedy as possible, so let's just give it a shot. I will get a mind, try to get that up to 15. And then we'll be nice and ready. Alright. This guy was tough, but he wasn't completely impossible even back when we first ran across him. However, these guys, this is half the reason I backed out of it, because I was hoping to find a blunt weapon we could use for them. Let me check if the flail works. It didn't seem to against the snake men of the Evergoal. But we'll try it. Could also be that a double-handed great axe would do a pretty good job. So this is just strike. I don't know if that's what they mean by blunt. Or if, you know, the other way around. My, whole spiel earlier about buy a club for situations like this when you need a club. I didn't buy it. What an idiot. Alright. Let's try this. If it does about the same amount of damage as the other thing, well, no. It does much, much less. Good. Good to know. Alright, so we won't worry about a blunt weapon right now. Darn. It's not still equipped. We'll just have to deal with him. Really? On the stairs, no less. I like that. Look at that little wind up. Oh, don't you bring your friends into play. Oh, well, that's a fine time to die. Because I'll just reawaken on top of myself. So no flail. I'm gonna need like a big hammer or something to start taking out people that are made of stone. Maybe this guy'll drop one, and that's why they're taunting me. But let's immediately unequip this, you terrible, terrible tool. Good. Alright. Pick up your stuff. And let's try this the normal way. Ouch. My pride. Okay. I would still like to do that again so that I have all my potions. Let's just run past the guys we don't have the right weapon for. Hoping he won't ambush me from above. This was a problem we were having last time too, is because I was running past them, they were able to throw daggers at me through the mist, and that does not help. Oh, that's a bad situation. So I'm going to stay away from the mist. Rake me in with the back of your hammer. Yikes. Alright. Who? Ah, the grip move. I remember this. I remember this from last time. Alright, there's one try down. Let's give it another shot. We may still not be ready for him yet, which is just fine. But one more shot. My best bet seems to just be rolling directly through his hammers, since they're so large I can't get, like, out of range, retreating from him. But then he has so few little breaks in his assault to take advantage of. So nice of you to hang out with me through dinner time there. I'm so sorry to interrupt. But glad you're getting something to eat. Ow! That hurt my brain. Oh, come on. I was rolling. I need to stagger him like that much more than I'm doing, or this isn't gonna go well. There's that hammer reach. Golly. Yikes. Nice jump. No grab. That's bad and nasty. Oh, ah, oh. Oh, completely useless. I should have ran away after the one. You know what I just remembered? Mid-combat here? Oh, he's furious. I just remembered we have a golden seed, which I think is like it will give me a whole nother crimson flask, if I want it. And I should have used that, 11 hours ago. Please stop being furious with me. I beg of you. Bad timing. Come on, my friend. That was so close. I wish I had just one more flask. Okay. How long did you want to hold it? Battle hammer. That's exactly what we need to kill some stone-based gargoyles. Hooray. Okay. Any other rewards? I'm not trying to be greedy. I'm just thorough. I'm trying to be greedy. Damn it. Here's one of those things we can check. It seems like a favorite of people to put messages on. Time for jumping! What a bit of fun. So, we now know that Murkwater Catacombs is free of danger, at least in Hammerman form. Let me get my potions back, and then we should be able to return to the bridge here. I am coming up on 2 hours, I guess in another 15 minutes here, so we'll see how far we can get in 15 minutes. But then I should stop holding up your time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And for sharing recipes for Finnish carrot casserole. That sounds amazing. Alright, I wanted my potions back. That would be nice. Let's also, just out of curiosity, while we're here, I doubt I have anywhere near the strength. Yeah, 26 strength required. Let me try a little. Just out of curiosity. If I had the requisite strength, I'm sure that would be doing a lot more damage, and it seems to be devastating. Slow, but fun. Shh, he wasn't behind us. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, back to my main weapon. So I'm feeling slightly more confident to, at some point in the next couple of sessions, continue down the story path, where it feels like we will inevitably meet Margit, whoever that is. That should be what I'm focusing on, but I'm having so much fun out in the world. Just exploring everything. One for old time's sake. Whoa. What an amazing game. Alright. What am I being attacked by? Mr. Eagle? I thought we had a diplomatic agreement. So I can probably just fast travel up to this one. And then we'll go across the bridge. It'll be great. It'll be so thrilling. We'll be able to end the whole session off of it. Oh, such a bridge. Do pardon my squeaky glass. Shouldn't say that too close together. It sounds untowards. Shut up, you squeaky glass. What did you call me? Alright, so I guess I have to get down here. I can probably make that. As we've now measured by the trees, it seems to be safe. Alright, on to the bridge. What awaits us?
Can you hear me? Help me. I'm stuck. Hello?
I can, in fact, hear you. Up here. That's not what I expected.
Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear me? Help me.
Yeah, hey.
I'm stuck. Hello?
How can I help?
Oh, my stars. I'm so happy to see you.
You seem to be a pot with a wax seal and
Also known as the
arms.
Iron Fist. And as you can see,
Alexander,
I'm
nice
stuck.
to meet you.
Please, can you help me out of this?
Well, I did just get a battle hammer, but how fragile are you? Tell me. If I start smacking you around,
My thanks.
of course I'll help.
Thanks. Just give me a good smack from the rear. Something nice and big. And I'll pop
Okay.
clean out, I'm sure.
You'll pop clean out, will you? You promise?
There's no need to fret. I'm very well trained. Give it your all, I say.
Okay. I'll try the rear.
Give me a good smack from behind with something nice and big. I'll pop clean out. I'm sure of it.
We're not gonna take the low road.
Give me a good
No, I don't want
smack from
to.
behind.
Every
I'll
time.
pop clean.
Sorry. I just wanted to quickly. There you go. Why is it always behind? Good. No, good. Yes. Applaud this message. Alright, so, I don't want to, like, devastate him. Can it be any weapon, or does it have to be something battle-hammery to heft him out of the hole? He said something big, so I'll trust him. Something big. This seems to be in a nearby area. Nope, I want to do it, but yeah, with that. There you go. Alright, I'm sorry for this. That work? Have to hit you harder? Oh,
Don't stop now, friend.
Stop
Just
now.
keep clobbering away at the old behind. Put those doubts to rest. I'll be just fine.
okay.
I'm very well trained.
I've put my doubts to rest. I understand. Savage, you silly butt. Get over here. There you go. Triumphant delight. Hey. How's things? How's your butt, specifically?
Well played, good lady. Well played.
My pleasure, sir.
Mighty wallop of yours almost spelled the end of...
I was a little worried.
Well, I'm out now, and that's what counts. I thank you. And as a token of my
Ow.
appreciation...
You reached through my physical body. That was very painful for me. Exalted flesh. Where did you... Who did you... How... Alright. Ah, rump.
Once again, pleasure is mine.
I am the Warrior Jar.
Warrior Jar.
It's not something I expected to hear.
Iron Fist, Alexander.
And yet it's a pleasure to meet you,
I
Alexander.
journey to the east, where I intend to further my education in the ways of war. And beyond these lands lie the scarlet, rot-blighted Caelid wilds. And
I think I've seen them.
edge is Redmane Castle, in which a festival of combat is being held.
A festival of combat, you say?
Before. Doesn't the notion set your breast aflutter?
It does. My bosoms are fluttering even now. At the mere thought of it.
Eastward to Redmane Castle, on the southern edge of the scarlet,
I'll see you there.
blighted Caelid wilds. I've heard there's to be a festival held there.
Can't wait. If we end up, you know, one-on-one in the end combat of the festival, you take it. Don't even go there. Don't try to be the hero. You take the championship, big guy. I believe in you. I will throw it in any direction you care for. Much like you did for me. Alright, so there's the bridge we've been trying to find. It does seem to be guarded by a hideous pumpkin-headed man. Interesting that we have to fight two of them. This gentleman seems to be doing exactly what I'm doing. Just hanging out. Too frightened to continue, really. Time for precious item. What does that mean? Aha! There is a site of grace just down there at the bridge. That is the perfect position for one, because there is also a gust right there, which means we have now completed our loop and can access both levels of this at any time, which is great news. Let's go get this formed. Suppose we can go around this way. There's also a thingy here. I should try for it. Oh no, not off the edge. Not off the ever-loving edge. Oh, goodbye forever. Alright. They'll respawn. Maybe he died, though, on the fall. There are both Crimson and Cerulean Teardrop Scarabs. Defeat them to replenish the flasks that match their type. However, you cannot replenish more flasks than your maximum amount allows. So, those aren't like crystal lizards, they're health lizards. That's awesome. Do I have to pick it up, or does it just automatically fill my flasks? He's getting angry. Be with you in a moment, sir. Just need a moment's peace, a moment's respite at the site of grace. Then I promise we'll do terrible things to one another. Alright, let's begin. Who did you murder? Oh, the statue. I see. No big deal, then. Just look like you want out of that. Look like you're aggressive. And yet... he's become aggressive! Alright. Sorry about that, Pumpkinhead. A sanctuary stone. I'll take it. I don't know what it does. Or why. This is such an engaging game. It's like we're 5 minutes away from 2 hours. I feel like I've been playing for 15 minutes. I could happily play for another 15, but that would be 4 hours. It's just a pleasure to exist in this world. Hey. Gorgeous noises. Can I peep my ears?
Oh dear. Yeah, I terribly sorry.
Nothing to be sorry
you
for.
as a customer?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Nomadic Warriors Cookbook number 3. Let me make sure there's nothing I must buy with all of my points first. A pickled turtleneck. Not what I was expecting. Alright. Get a short sword. Flame chariots. I never did read my other 2 notes we bought on, like... I forget what. I need to read them. So the bandit mask is very tempting. However, who would want to cover up all of this? This face, George, is the money. And I'll take the note. That's good. Thank you.
Oh, I must apologise.
Stop it.
I'm afraid I've very little to offer.
Hey, if you had one of those kinds of childhoods even, where you were constantly apologizing just for, existing, and felt like it was an imposition because someone else decided to bring you into this world and force existence upon you, I would just stop apologizing. That's fine. You have every right to exist, my friend. And I love you. Alright. So, we have ruins here. We have wet ruins here. Slightly drier ruins. And, teeth. I must assume. Just teeth. And nothing else. Let's continue following the road until something stops us. That's my plan. We do have 17,000, not 1,000, 100 runes still, so there's a little bit to lose if we get ambushed by a dragon or something. I hear the crackle of bones from all around. Good to see you guys. And you?
There's no mistake, is there? Death has left its mark once again.
I'm sorry to hear that. Can I console you with a gentle embrace, and then you give me that sword? Does that seem fair? Are you holding a child?
I'm sorry. I cannot give you your proper rights. But
Interesting.
At least you did not join those who live in death. Your soul...
His armor is like cradling a small statue, but it's not
honeyed rays of gold.
a statue, it's just his armor.
This spirit.
What a strange man.
The tarnished, are you? I'm known as D. I hunt down those who live in death and weed their death root. Heed my warning.
I have death
The
root.
village
I
here
live
has
in
been
death.
touched by death. And worse yet, it is home to a mariner.
Oh!
Then
A
go
mariner? God!
The village here has been touched by death.
Sounds like where that guy got that
Turn
big old
back
fish hook
while
from.
you still can.
I'm excited. We saw some player ghost running around with the biggest fish hook I've ever seen. And I want to have that in my back pocket. Just in case. Alright, I should run him out of dialogue options.
The village here has been touched by death. Turn back.
That's it. I've run him out of dialogue options. Good. Okay. So as we were just saying, we'll follow the road until something stops us. The mariner will stop us. He's warned us ahead of time. However, I'm not seeing anything very near the road that looks worthwhile to go inspect. We'll obviously have to saunter about the countryside. Seems like there might be another site of grace. Happily take it. Ew! I bet you're into marine life. How Several hundred runes. So this must be the village he's telling me to avoid at all costs. The road continues through it and then seems to go up into that Caelid Wilds area everyone's been talking about. It does appear as though the steel for this eastern side of the Caelid Wilds is right next to where they popped me out. I'm kind of tempted to do a quick map expansion run, since we can fast travel right back here at any time. Let's do it. Satisfy our map curiosity. I'm now after the 2-hour mark and still playing, looking for new ways to satisfy my curiosity. Damn it all, my free time is gone. I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't know if I go up this way. I don't think I went up this way to get outside. I think this goes back into the crystal mine. Hooray for the crystal mine. We finally have a hammer to deal with their crystal-infused skin. However, I just want to go out here and set a quick waypoint so I know where I'm going. Back step, just in case. Never be too careful. And to not die instantly, I'm going to ride my goat. A couple of these big, heart-looking things. He's got a big heart. I don't see my waypoint. I would figure it's there. Okay, that's not the way I expected. I was gonna say I figured it was that way along the coast, but that does not seem to be the case. And maybe we should go around? Might not be as easily grabbable as steel as I was hoping. Dogs? Or dog, I guess. Shouldn't be on horseback for this. He did a lot of damage. Ouch. Ouch, that hurt. Sorry, my friend. Just want to grab your owner's... Aw, it's his ashes. Aw. Now I can carry him with me. Thank you. I love you. Alright, I keep going back to where I left my horse, as though my horse actually exists when I'm not using it. It doesn't. It ceases to exist. I'd really love it if you'd get out of the animation now. Alright. Okay. Why is that sign so bright? It's a double. We both went into a sort of panicked, desperate slashing there. So why is this an important message? Stop by the shack beyond the southern gate. It sounds very important. I don't know if that's like a scripted one that's not actually player-made or what. Melina?
Forgive me.
Elena?
I've been
I'm sitting a little
testing
low.
you
Do pardon me.
to determine if the Elden Ring would truly have you. If you
Is that
had
what this
the
has all been
mettle
about?
to endure this long and arduous path. It seems my worries were unfounded. Torrent had your measure from the very start.
Thank you.
Whereas I merely pretend.
That's
There is
soothing.
but one other thing I can do to offer you guidance. I can take
Tell
you
me
to
the
the
goddamn
Round Table,
truth.
gathering a race
Excuse me.
of tarnished champions, guided by grace.
That sounds fantastic. I'll go too.
Very well. Let my hand rest
I'll
upon
go,
you.
and
For
I
better
want a
moment.
+1. You're gonna rest your hand above... Oh, my leg is... What's happened to my kneecaps? Is she teleporting me to a safe area, or is it a not safe? Wow. The Round Table Hold is a place where tarnished gather, guided by grace. Combat is prohibited on the premises due to a Pact of Non-Aggression. This rule is in effect when the Round Table icon is displayed. I finally got an achievement, too. I think that's my first achievement I've gotten. There was some question as to if, because the Xbox versions weren't connecting to the servers, if achievements were being counted. So there might be... Like the Beast of Farum was supposed to have an achievement, and I never got it. I might need to just start over again, but that's fine. Pact of Non-Aggression. This rule is in effect when the Round Table icon is displayed. The Round Table Hold is located outside of this world. It can only be reached through sites of grace, and can also be accessed by using the map. So this is a sanctuary of sorts, with perhaps an actual blacksmith? Are you the actual blacksmith? Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, I see you've just arrived. Welcome to the Round Table Hold. I'm Corin, a man of the cloth.
I can
teach
see that.
Incantations, the strength granted us by the Two Fingers, and explore
Which
the secrets of the Golden
two?
Order, so that one day, if a tarnished of the Round Table Hold should become Elden Lord,
That's me.
I might counsel them,
Take a good look.
ensuring order regains its proper form. Righting rule over men.
Someone needs to rule those unruly little scamps.
The guidance of grace.
I do. Yeah, it's right there. I see it.
You do. Wonderful news. Most tarnished are blind to it these days. You are something
Very
of a
poor choice
rare
of words
breed.
for me.
Well, what do you say? Care to learn an incantation of the Two Fingers?
Yes. For a second I thought that said urgent heal. I'm like, oh, I don't like that. Urgent is good. Yeah, I'll take that quickly. So, cure poison. That's a very, very important thing that might save us some items down the road. And it's probably not a very expensive spell to cast. We just need 10 faith, effectively. So there are a couple of these that would be useful. Like if I'm primarily a swordsman, and then I heal and cure poison through something like this. That'd be a good balance.
Order shine through you.
I also have not unlocked pyrokinesis, which is what or pyromancy, rather, which is what I usually use to supplement my sword play. We have all manner of NPCs to speak with. I don't know if we should make this the beginning of next session. As this is very exciting and new, I don't want to stop playing, but it's very exciting and new, so we can start off in a good place. Fascinating. Who put these here? Why? Tell me the lore. Vati? Where are you? I can't wait to talk to all these people. What I'm not sure I have is like a site of grace here. And I don't want to miss any dialogue if resting at the site of grace enhances things. So I'm scared. I'm scared and paralyzed with fear. Also a lot of blood stains down there for an area that's supposed to be a safe sanctuary with a non-aggression pact. If there was a site of grace hidden in an antechamber, where would it be? If there was a site of grace and it was hidden in an antechamber, which chamber? Specifically, we're done. Alright, I don't want to explore too much. I know it'll save it here regardless. I was just hoping to have the reassurance of a site of grace, so it's not desperately important. I'll look up here last. You don't have the right. Oh, you don't have the right. Therefore, you don't have the right. Oh, you don't have the right. I wasn't expecting to be scolded like this. Fair enough. I don't have the right. So, I will save it here. We will return to speak to all of these new NPCs, new merchants. There will be new items. We will have to go grind out some more of those swordsmen to afford all of the items we're about to find. I cannot wait. This has been an absolute pleasure. I will see you guys again very soon. Let me just make sure that it will save it. Save the game. Alright. Hopefully I will see you soonish, if not later today, at the very next opportunity. Bye for now.